welcome Lou LaVecchia.
Hello, my name is Lou LaVecchia, and I'm the ex officio chair for the board of directors for Apraxia Kids. I first want to welcome you to this conference, but I want to take a second to thank my good friend, Sharon Gretz, the founder of Apraxia Kids. What she didn't realize is she was probably looking at her immediate need of getting Luke what he needed, but what a ripple effect she made. We would not be sitting here today without her. If the professionals look around, you probably wouldn't have those relationships with Sharon not being here. Okay? What those future parents sitting here for the first time today are going to learn over the next few days is invaluable. That wouldn't have existed. So Sharon, thank you.
Right, I get to start. My name is Ruth Stoeckel. I have been an SLP for over 30 years and experienced pretty much everything you can do in our profession somewhere along the way. I found my home working with children who have complex communication disorders or challenges. Early in my career, I had a clinical supervisor in the schools who had written one of the first papers to identify children with this distinct speech sound disorder and call it apraxia in like 1972. She was a mentor who introduced me to others who could help me communicate and continue to grow my expertise. I've been fortunate to have a career that included working with or having interactions with some of the most well-known names in the apraxia world, including some who are sitting in here today. I owe some of that to my first mentor, but also to my association with Apraxia Kids. 20 plus years ago, I stumbled across a listserv on the internet run by Sharon Gretz and Kathy Hennessy. They were parents of children with CAS seeking to connect with other parents and with professionals who advance awareness and understanding of apraxia. That listserv grew and became the Childhood Apraxia Speech Association of North America, or CASANA, or if you're Dave Hammer, it's Kasana, or not. That organization has continued to grow and evolve and is today is known as Apraxia Kids. I had the good fortune to be an instructor for the intensive training boot camp that was one of Sharon's early great ideas and is continued to this day. Go boot campers! Right. I have served on the Professional Advisory Council from the early days and until this summer when I'm going to step away to make room for the talented individuals who can continue to bring exciting new ideas to Apraxia Kids. When I give a presentation at this national conference, I usually start by saying, I have been to every single Apraxia conference that has been held. I don't need a perfect attendance award. What I want to know is, or want to say is that it's because of the partnership between parents and professionals that's been the core of this association that keeps me coming back and keeps me excited about what can be done by this organization. I wholeheartedly endorse and want to support that initiative that has been started. Apraxia Kids has helped to fund treatment research and the dissemination of information of relevant research through the Apraxia Kids website and through these conferences makes it accessible to both SLPs and to parents who are trying to educate themselves. The ongoing work of Apraxia Kids that brings parents and professionals together for the best interests of the child has already made a difference for many, many children, and I suspect will influence the lives of many more children in the years to come. I have benefited both personally and professionally from the relationships with parents and with other SLPs that have been had as a result of my connection to Apraxia Kids. I have to say I'm totally in awe of what just a couple of parents started and has grown to be today. And I'm incredibly honored to share the stage with Sharon Gretz.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's so awesome to see you all there. So Ruth and I, our task today is to set the stage for you about how the Apraxia Kids National Conference came to be the vivid example of partnership between parents and professionals. So I'm going to take you down memory lane to understand how and why we need to go back to the very seeds and roots of how the organization was born. When I first heard the word apraxia, Dr. Tom Campbell had just diagnosed my son Luke. Some of you know Luke, right? I remember it clearly, and one thing that he said really resonated. If your son has an excellent speech-language pathologist, appropriate and frequent speech therapy, and if you're willing to partner with this therapist to practice and reinforce his speech at home, your son has a good chance to develop intelligible speech. Big impression those words made. Well, then entered David Hammer, right? Everybody knows Dave in the crowd. This was my son's new speech-language pathologist. There is so much I could say about Dave. It's hard to even do it without crying, but there's no time allotted here to give him his just due. What I can say is Dave exemplified the professional parent partnership in every way. I felt that way from the very first day of my son's therapy, and over the years our partnership grew and grew. He was and is an amazing and stellar partner, unlike others. I am forever grateful to him. Both Dave and Tom later helped me and several other parents organize a local apraxia workshop for our Pittsburgh community. We felt that people just had to learn about apraxia. And of course, we decided it would be for both parents and professionals. This was unheard of in speech world at the time. Not only did that local workshop sell out, but we had to plan a second one just to handle the enormous demand. People really wanted to learn. Another example in my quest to learn and share about apraxia, I started what was known as the Apraxia Kids listserv. In case you're too young to know, a listserv is an email distribution group. You write in, then your email is sent to everyone subscribed to the list. People then reply to those emails, and so on. As the listserv grew, I noticed that not only were hundreds of parents finding us, but so were many professionals. One name that stands out is that of my friend, Dr. Ruth Stoeckel. I can never forget Ruth's enthusiasm, her patience, and her willingness to share her apraxia knowledge, not just with the SLP colleagues on the list, but also answering every single parent's questions. She was and is an example of the partnership. After receiving and reading a 3-part series of very rare journal articles on apraxia of speech in children, published in 1997, I decided to wing it and email the author of one of these important papers. His name was Dr. Larry Schreiberg. How was I to know that he was huge in the field and one of the very few researchers who actually thought it could be possible there was a distinct speech disorder called apraxia in children? At the time, even the existence of apraxia as a speech disorder was challenged. I told Dr. Schreiberg of my ideas of eventually creating an Apraxia Kids organization. Larry was supportive, and that support gave the new organization credibility. He put his reputation on the line with that partnership. And in reflection, it is not lost on me what he risked. His partnership, and later that of other researchers, many seated in the room that I see, was pivotal. Sadly, Dr. Schreiberg passed away just a few months ago and will be sadly missed. A founding board member, Dr. Mary Stern, or we'll call her Josh's mom, was another shining example of partnership. At our first research symposium, attended by a small group of researchers, professionals, and parents, she proclaimed that our cause, our organization, was like a 3-legged stool: parents, professionals, and researchers. sharing knowledge and resources so that children could thrive and have their best shot at developing speech. Without any one of those legs, the stool would fall. I think she was right. So now you know that it makes total sense that the organization grew and the Apraxia Kids National Conference became a goal, that it too would be a partnership. The original conference organizer, Kathy Hennessy, worked diligently to make sure there was a balance of professional and parent topics, and some that would interest both. We were a bit shocked that the first conference was the big hit that it was. Nearly 500 people from across the country and some international folks as well, all gathered here in Pittsburgh as a community for the very first time. And now we gather again. Look around you. Seated here are parents, family members, speech-language pathologists, educators, and researchers. I'd say that the partnership lives on. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the memories that other people have about this event and the Apraxia Kids National Conference, and how all of us grew in partnership together over the years. Thank you. And I'm going to call up